Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kristen and this is Growing Zone 9B. So I had planned on going out in the water and enjoying today, and we got a phone call and we were told that the corn is actually in. So my fiance went and picked up all of the corn, and I just drove over to my parents and I shared some with them. So my day will now consist of boiling this corn down. So we're gonna shuck it, and then I'm gonna save the corn silk because the corn silk has many medicinal benefits. And then we are going to be cooking this. Like I said, I will end up cutting it off the cob, and then I will put it in the food saver bag so that we can put it in our freezer. Luckily, we just went through the last bag like 2 weeks ago. So this big batch usually carries us throughout the year, which may not seem like a lot for a lot of people, but for us, this is a lot of work, and it's a lot of corn. So you can see here are all the bags and ears of corn that we actually have. All right, so I'm gonna assume that we probably easily have, I don't know, maybe 75 ears of corn here that we need to start shucking, maybe 50, somewhere. I don't know, I'll count them or try to keep track of them as I go through them. But like I said, we did share some of them with my parents. So the benefits of corn silk, just so you know, so when it's in season for you and you know that you're getting a really good organic corn, you can make a corn silk tea. So I have the dehydrator, so what I'll do is I'll save a lot of this silk and I'll dehydrate it. Now I do have some from last year, which I really just didn't end up making a lot of corn silk tea, but I do need to be more vigilant about that, especially with the prices of things going up and inflation. Just know that that is something that has been used by our ancestors, and now it's something that we can actually implement. So the benefits of corn silk is, or making a tea with the corn silk itself, is that it's a natural diuretic, it's anti-inflammatory, it has antioxidant properties, it's a detoxifier, and it's good for blood clotting. So if you're already on something that may bother you, or you know, check your medication, it also for that blood clotting piece. So I don't want anybody, you know, you do your own research. I always tell you guys that, you know, you're responsible for yourself, but it also says that it helps with urinary tract infections. So if you get a lot of UTIs, corn silk is a natural remedy that you can potentially use for that. Always seek medical help, but it may give you some temporary relief, especially if you have a UTI that might kick in around, you know, midnight or something and you can't get to a hospital. If you had this packed away and you had some corn silk, then you might be able to actually utilize a little bit of it, and it might kind of help alleviate some of those issues. Now I have a corn silk that I just read that from the internet, just so you guys know. That is not coming from me. I told you guys repeatedly, I am not a doctor. I am not a naturopath. I am certified in alternative medicine, but my area of expertise is mental health. So we are going to be shucking this. I do have a tincture. So here's a tincture. Here's what a tincture looks like. It's got that nice kind of brown color to it. I had some corn silks, and all you do is you're just going to take the corn silk and you're going to pour vodka over it, and you can store that for long-term use. Now, you definitely, you know, if you're starting to have kidney problems, that's when you're going to use that. Make sure you're keeping that tincture in a cool, dry place, so that way you don't get anything else in it. But it'll get that nice amber color to it once it's kind of settled in. So this one is ambery. And I will go ahead and drain the corn silk itself off of this alcohol. I'll pull it out and drain it. And then I will actually put it in a, you know, probably like the eyedropper looking type containers that you like suck up, and then you can just put the drop in your mouth. Now this is alcohol based, so keep that in mind. But I do know my mom gets a lot of kidney stones, and so that is a good tincture to kind of keep on hand if you are familiar with kidney stones. It's not an end all be all. Obviously, you know, you need to do your own research and check with your doctors always. So we are going to be getting started shucking this. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead. This is just one bag, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 bags, and like I said, I took 2 over to my parents because they still had some. So in order to get the silk out of it, you're just gonna strip it down, Now I would cut off this brown piece personally. I would go ahead and cut off the top of this tassel, and then if you're wanting to do the tincture or the tea, what you're gonna need to do is actually then at that point you're gonna get to these beautiful silky fibers here, these nice green fibers that you can see. And that is what you're going to be setting aside once you cut this top off. You'll be setting this nice green section aside, and that's what you're either going to dehydrate and keep on standby if you'd like to make yourself corn silk tea in the future. You probably need to get one of those tea balls and then put it in there. I personally just take it by the handful, and I just kind of make little circle clumps of it. I let it dehydrate that way, like a little like spaghetti circle, so to speak, and you just twirl it up. Stick it in one section, and when it dries, it'll dry in that nice little crunch. And what I would do is just from the Zephyrhills water machine, I would just go ahead and just get that hot water, if you have boiling water, pour it over the top of that, let it steep for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then you could pull that silk out, and you could just, you know, drain it appropriately to put a screen over or whatever, and then you can just drink that. If you're not worried about swallowing the tassel-y pieces of it, you can go ahead and just drink it, and just don't swallow that, because that's really fibrous, and there's no reason for you to actually get that or consume this piece of it. So that's what you're looking for, is that beautiful green piece. So obviously I'm going to take these other pieces here, the green actual most fibrous components of the corn, and I'm going to put those out in our compost. So I've got the kitchen sink clean. I'm going to get some pots boiling with water. I'm going to go ahead and cook this corn like I would normally just boil corn. And then what's going to end up happening is I am going to, like I said, once it's boiled, I'm going to pull it all off of the heat. And then I'm just gonna, by hand, I'm gonna actually just sit here and cut cob by cob and just pack it into the suck and seal bags. So I will show you a little bit of that process once we get everything suck and sealed. That's when I'll bring you guys back, because this is pretty basic, but I just didn't know if a lot of people were aware of the corn silk or the corn process for, you know, putting it away for long-term storage in your freezer. Now the other piece is too, the water that the corn is actually boiling in, you can drink that as well, which a lot of people don't know. So you could hypothetically save that boiled water once you're done processing all this corn. You could drain it off. You could put it in some type of long-term storage, drop it in your freezer some way, somehow, because actually in my suck and seal bag, as I call it, the food saver, you can actually just lay that bag in there, and the rest of the juice, it doesn't have to like suck out all the air, because it knows it's a moisture product. And what you can do is you can just kind of get it as close as you can to that marker and just seal it, and then drop it in your freezer. And then that way, if you're having a soup or you want to make some type of a broth, a vegetable soup in the future, and you would really like a corn flavor to it, you can actually use that to create a soup in the future. So especially if you're up north where you're going to get a lot of winters and you do a lot of like fall cooking, or you know, you're a heavy soup eating family, just know that you can still utilize that. Don't throw out the water. So that's really important, you know, to just keep in mind, especially if we're trying to be frugal and watch our money and watch how we're, you know, spending things. And it's just utilizing the entire property of the corn itself, which is also a very important thing that I think is one of the pieces that we've lost in our society, of just preserving and retaining all aspects of what we're doing. All right, y'all, so it's gonna be a little bit, because I've got a lot of shucking to get started with. All right, so I just want to show you guys that we are boiling the corn down. There's corn, there's corn. So you want to go ahead and get that boiling and get it to where it's going to be basically already cooked, so that way when you put it in those freezer bags, you're really just warming this back up. So I still have quite a bit more to do. The entire sink is full of compost, and then I have been peeling back the corn here, and then here it is over here as well. So I still have 2 more bags plus this, and I have already lost count of how much corn that we have. All right, so really quickly, I just want to show you guys what I was talking about, since I'm in the process of shucking it. So you're gonna go ahead and you're just gonna take this top, you're gonna go ahead and cut it. So now that piece is gone. And this is what your corn will look like. You're just gonna strip it down like you would normally strip the corn down. And then when it starts to get to the silk, you want to kind of just hold the silk back here like this and just pull that corn husk back and just keep doing that. You can see these little pieces here. So go ahead. So now this is what I would say is basically an ear that's ready to retain the silk from. Go ahead and wiggle that silk back like that, and then you have an entire set of silk. Now I did feel the top pop off on that one. So I just take it and I turn it into like a little ball, just like that, like a little nest almost. And then I'm putting those little nests right here so that way when I pull them out to dehydrate, it'll be much easier for me to dehydrate these in the dehydrator. I have an entire pitcher full. That's what I've just been twisting them and then dropping them in here. So we will continue doing it and going through this process. All right, friends, so we are finishing up this corn video, and I just want to show you guys that I have some up in the white freezer, fridge freezer over here. We have 2 refrigerators with freezers, and then a cubed freezer so that we can put our meat and our corn and stuff in. So there it is. You can see that I have papaya, and then here's what the corn looks like. So there it is, and it's nice. It's already cooked. It's nice, convenient little pack, and that is just an easy way to keep that corn for us. So what I do, since it's already cooked, I can just add it to salsas. I can add it to, you know, just cut it open, let it defrost a little bit, you know, have it for a meal. You can add it to casseroles. I'm not really a big casserole person, but I know people that are. So, you know, just think about ways that you can help to save money. And you know where your food is coming from. So while we did not grow that, that's why I said networking is really important. We have gotten our corn from the same location for probably the past 4 years or so. And so we found out about these folks from one of our beautiful friends. So, and he tells us every year when that corn is ready. And so we go up there and we pick up, you know, 2 or 3 bushels of corn. So, but we keep it for the entire year. So it's really important that you guys are finding ways to save money and know where your food is coming from, because buying it bulk like that from a store would end up probably costing you a little more than just trying to find somebody locally. And if you are capable of growing corn, then by all means, please invest in that. That is a good staple food to kind of keep around, especially for making soups and you know, just having it and enjoying it with your friends and family. So all right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, love one another, be kind, and I will see you guys in my next video.